acceptance.
Welcome to the end of 2021. Next year is going to be huge, Kevin. The last time I said that, COVID broke out. What do you think? What are your aspects for 2022?
You remember we made that video at the end of 2019? Like, next year's going to be epic. Like,
it's going to be awesome.
It was so bad because come March that year when we're on like this horrible lockdown and COVID hit, and it's like people are dying all over the place. Like, yeah, that sucks. Sorry.
Exactly.
We put a bit of
people are leaving comments. That didn't age well.
Yeah, that didn't age well, exactly. We got so many that didn't age well comments on that video.
Yeah, it's like we were, so
may have been good for some people,
amazing.
But unfortunately not good for a lot. Yeah.
It's not going to deter my enthusiasm. We're still here.
Here we are still. Hitting peak numbers at the minute for the thing. It's like, geez, can we just get on with this thing? We want to get back. Speaking of, did you see? So CES is still going ahead.
Okay.
It's on my list of things I've always wanted to go to.
I'd love to go to that conference and just walk around in the trade show floor.
It's literally on my list of like places to go, and I always forget about it because it happens in January, and it's one of those things where it happens so close to Christmas, New Year that I'm always like, I'm never looking in like the end of the year for stuff to do next year. I'm always looking at the beginning of the year for stuff to do for the year, and so I was like, CES is on this week. I'm like, too late.
So I'd like to go CES, South by Southwest, and San Diego Comic Con. That's not New York. I'd like to go to the San Diego Comic Con.
Yeah, you got to go to the San Diego one, haven't you?
I don't want to wear a costume or anything like that. I just want to walk around and go see what's going on. So
I'm with you. So CES is going ahead for 2022. Still officially, it starts like I don't know, first week of January or something. But like everybody's pulled out of it. Like all of the big companies have all pulled out of it, like Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook, Google. That Fang's like not even appearing there. I saw AMD, like Intel, I think, like all the big companies. So it's like, it's not the year to go anyway. Maybe next year. I always say that. But
maybe next year.
Maybe we can be in a better position next year. We can,
hopefully.
Code of Foundry trip will live stream from CES.
That's it. Cover CS live. So that'd be kind of amazing.
That would be cool. That would be awesome.
All right. So it's the last year. I think 2022 brings in stuff. Hey, official Scienta. Thank you, man. All right. I'm glad you're here.
Well, thanks. Thanks for hanging in. And hello to everybody else who's always here.
Yeah. Hello to everyone else. Leave a chat here if you want to stuff.
Exactly. Oh, hold on. Here we go. Let's talk about this. Kevin K1. I missed last year's deal of 129. Will we offer it again? No. Never.
No, we tried to tell you that was the deal of the year. So we may put it on sale. There may be some different. I doubt I'd ever go to 129 ever again.
It's not. We officially promised when we pre-sold at that price we'll never put it at that price again. So it wouldn't. So don't it's not one of those things to hang on for the 129 price. It'll never be 129 again. We got 20% off right now.
Yeah. So like it's $400 for the year. So like $479, whatever it is. So like it's still a pretty good deal to break into coding and those kind of things. And
we think so.
Don't wait for us to put it on sale, or don't wait for us to give it away, or like to start your career. Start your career this year and just break in. You'll make way more money on writing code for a living than you will saving it on a coupon that we may offer. So
there's usually some kind of coupon going on. Usually, I mean, not always. It's kind of half and half. So it's like if there is one, there is one. If there isn't, there isn't. This one ends. So coupon code SNOW ends tomorrow, actually. So
okay,
31st.
So it's 20% off, I think, right now. So like, go take advantage of it.
It is.
You can go to learn.codefriend, a shameless plug. He asked, so we have to shameless plug it now.
There we go. I always forget to put it on. Like you gotta remind me. Shameless plug, just instinctively, I have I now have this like Pavlovian response when you say shameless plug. It's like hit the button.
Yeah.
Like hit the button.
Yeah, but the year is ending, Kevin, 2022. But there's some other stuff that's ending too. I think on the 3rd of January.
Well, I got to pop up on my phone for this. This is how important this is. It popped up on my phone right before we were coming on.
Now, we talked about big things we're going to announce. This is not it, but there's something huge that is ending January 3rd, and that's Starbucks Play for Life. So I thought I would share with you.
We've talked about this like off stream a million times. Bobby and I always talk about this. So those who don't know, Bobby will call me in the morning from the Starbucks line, right? And it's every day. on the Starbucks line.
Yeah.
So I know Bobby goes to Starbucks at least once every single day.
Right.
Because I speak to him while he's at Starbucks.
I went twice because there's some challenges, and I'm going to show you what my Starbucks numbers are a little bit. So but I go every day, and I'm trying to win Starbucks for life. I think it'd be amazing, but I haven't been successful yet. So let's show you kind of what we're going to what's going on here.
Yeah. So what we did was right before this, you were like, "Oh, I've got one spin left." I'm like, "Well, let's do it live."
We're going to do it live. So you can see here, I have I got one play left. And you can see here my Starbucks for life. I've got one here that I'm missing, one for Starbucks for a year I'm missing, 6 months I'm missing. I didn't even do well on 3 months, Kevin.
You have one
a lot
for
of
most
duplicates
of these.
here.
Yeah, but you have one for all of these.
2 per month, 15,000 bonus stars. I'm right there. I didn't even win the puzzle, Kevin. I mean, like they wouldn't even give me the crappy puzzle.
The puzzle is the lowest of the low prize, isn't it? You did win Big Luck. 10 stars.
10 bonus stars.
10 bonus
so
stars.
It's just to show you how much I played this. You can't really say here. If you go to the challenges here, look at my challenge page. I got the I can download the background because I did that. I got the I also can get the festive wallpaper.
You checkmarked everything pretty much.
Yeah, I shake the glove 5 times. I treated myself 3 times, 7 times. Ordered on the app twice. Ordered on the app 5 times. I went in the afternoons. I went on the weekend. I collected more than 10 game pieces. I don't know how many I've collected.
It's a lot,
point, but it's been a bunch.
It's a lot. So let's spin it. Let's see. I want to see you win something. I want to see you win Starbucks for life.
Let's do it. Let's gonna do it right now. Let me shake it. There it goes. It's shaking now.
Let's see. Here we go. This is it. I got a good feeling.
I'm gonna get Starbucks for life.
We should have totally
Starbucks for a year. For a year.
We should have totally.
Got a duplicate again. That's it.
Never mind. That's it, right?
That's it.
Is that it? It still says you have one play left. Oh, there you go.
I'm out of plays now.
So here's what's funny then too. I also have some plays.
Let's do it. Let's see if you can win. Maybe I can live vicariously through you.
Here's the difference, though. I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger. Here's the difference. I barely went to Starbucks.
Right.
I went twice. Right. So if we look at my challenges, this will be so gutting if I win something here. But I barely went. Look, I went twice. This is it. I barely checked any of the things off. I literally went twice. But I do have 2 free spins, and the only thing I can win. Look, I barely have any tokens in here. I can win a puzzle, $100 Starbucks card, or Starbucks for life. If I get,
you could win Starbucks for life. You could win Starbucks for life.
We're gonna shake it. Let's see.
Maybe you'll get an instant win prize. Watch you
an instant win. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. No, that's it. I'm done. I can now win nothing.
Ooh, you got the middle one. Let me look at it and see if that's a good one or not.
Oh, hold on, because I can actually. I think after I spin 5 times, I get another free play too. By the way, so
yeah.
By the way, those looking at this. Oh no, I don't have 1,000 stars. This is actually the app. The app behind this is actually really good. We looked at this from
it's cool.
Prize giving perspective. It's a great app.
Yeah,
it really is.
It's pretty cool.
Here you go. I get to go claim my free play look too. So.
Look at that. You're kicking butt here.
I get 3 spins for doing nothing. Like I say, for going to Starbucks twice. Come on, insta win. No. See, this is what it does.
I don't believe anyone has actually won this. I don't think anyone's won anything.
We were talking about this the other day, weren't we? Somebody had tweeted, like they tweeted, like they literally put that was the tweet. Has anybody won anything on the Starbucks for life? And the responses were all like, nope, nothing, nope. Like, wow, okay, maybe it's pretty bad.
So get into Starbucks right now.
That's it. Neither of us have won anything.
Somebody's winning Starbucks for life this weekend. That must be.
Maybe that's what they do. They just wait till the last weekend and then give it away.
Sell as much coffee as possible.
Exactly. Hey, maybe that's the thing.
So, I have to go after 2 today and get another Starbucks and claim my ticket. All right, cool. Well, any questions or any comments about our Starbucks plays? Anybody?
Nothing about Starbucks. Did anybody here win anything on Starbucks for life? Anybody playing Starbucks for life and actually win anything other than 10 stars that Bobby won?
10
is Bobby the biggest winner here with 10 stars?
Yeah.
By the way, they do this every year. I mean, I've played this thing every year, but I've never won anything. I haven't even won 10 stars. I've never won a free coffee on
it.
Right.
Yeah. I didn't get a free coffee, nothing like that.
I don't go very much, though.
Yeah. I got points on my card. I hadn't even used my points because when you use points, you don't get plays. It's like, why? I mean, like, come on, man, give me some plays, man. I mean, like, have to spend money to, no purchase necessary. Yeah, right.
Just as Mocha Master's best coffee investment I've made. Yes, I like the Mocha Master coffee machine. I do not have one. I have an espresso coffee machine, and it is a great investment. Mocha Master's on my list though, like drip coffee.
Yeah, it definitely saves money if you can do that. So.
Yep. Let's see here. Okay, we got a bunch of questions already, so let's just just jump straight into questions.
Yeah, man. And if you got a burning question, you need something answered before the end of the year, super chat us up, buy some New Year's tacos, and we'll me and Kevin eat tacos. Be good.
Let's go. So our newbie here, official Scientia. If I'm getting that right, not sure, but apologies if I'm not. So would you advise learning to be self-taught or bootcamp?
So obviously we run a bootcamp, so we're a little bit biased here. Okay, so we think bootcamp's the best way. Let me tell you where I think self-taught can work and why I think you're probably going to be self-taught no matter what you do anyway. Right. So like, if you can be internally motivated to put the amount of time into learning how to code, then self-taught is the cheapest way to do it. I think it's going to take 9 months to a year to do that. Now, when you're on Twitter, some guy says, I learned JavaScript in 5 days. It's just not true. I think what they think they learned in JavaScript in 5 days isn't everything they need to know anyway to get a job. So like I'm talking about to be job ready, to build something that someone will hire you to build. It's going to take you 9 months to a year on the self-taught route, just because I simply think that the reason you're in the self-taught route is because you're working, you got other things going on, and therefore you can't spend as much time as you'd like to. So I think it's going to think of it in terms of hours, 700 to 900 hours to do this. So how fast can you get to 900 hours? Well, at Coder Foundry, we do that in 12 weeks. So we spend 700 hours and probably more than that during our times with our students during 12 weeks. You're at a minimum 40 hours a week. And you also have a teacher, a coach, and a mentor, which in self-taught you don't have. And that's the thing that really delays people, is that they don't have anywhere to ask questions or try to get advice in it. The other thing on the self-taught route is, here's my advice. If you want to go self-taught route, is learn what you want to build first, then choose what you're going to learn. Don't learn Python because everyone says, hey, Python's easier. Don't learn JavaScript because everyone says that's what you need to know. If you're building websites, and which I'd advise you to do, that's what I'd advise you to do, is build websites because there's more jobs out there. HTML, CSS, JavaScript, some kind of server-side language like C# or Java or Node.js. Those are the things that you got to know how to do. If you're gonna build Windows apps, pretty much C#, could be Java. If you're building mobile, cross-platform mobile development, Flutter, React Native, or something like Xamarin or .NET MAUI. That's, in a nutshell, that's our advice. So can you do either or? Even if you leave your boot camp, and your boot camp is amazing, like we think Coder Foundry is amazing, but like let's say that you leave it, you're still going to have to learn a lot of stuff on your own going forward for your whole career. So you'll be self-taught no matter what you do. So self-taught, you have no money and all you have is time. Self-taught's the way to go because you can't afford to go to the boot camp anyway. So don't stress over it. Go self-taught route. If you've got time and money, then a boot camps are pretty good if you're building a portfolio at the end of that. So, but you definitely have access to a teacher, a coach, or a mentor in most bootcamp situations.
I think the thing is too, I think almost like everybody should try self-taught as well for a couple of reasons. Again, like you said,
you should do that before you go to a bootcamp.
Exactly. Sure. Don't let the first day of bootcamp be your first thing that you ever see anything code related, because you may not even like it. It might suck. Yeah. So then there's that, and then you'll fail. Yeah, because you just don't like doing it. So there's that side of it. Yeah. But also, obviously, it's going to be the cheapest in terms of your outlay of money, like to do self-taught, obviously. But it's not the cheapest in terms of time to market. Time to market, your cheapest is going to be a bootcamp. So it's like you have to weigh up the pros and cons. Like, you're going to end up with the same job at the end of the day. So do you want to invest $15,000 and do it in 12 weeks and get the same job you're probably going to get after a year? Or do you want to take the year and do it and save the money? It's pros and cons to each. Or you can do the college route too, which just takes 4 years and way more money. Like,
Yeah, or 2 years community college route.
At least.
Now, what I will say this about boot camps, when you're comparing boot camps, and the one thing you need to look at is what is the curriculum behind the boot camp? And so what do they do? How do they deliver curriculum? If the boot camp consists of you watching videos from like a Udemy course, and then there's an instructor there, let's say on a Saturday or something like that, that's, you might as well go the self-taught route. Like, you know, it could be cheap, but like, it not really might change in your environment that much differently. But if you come to Coder Foundry, this is stuff we build, our projects, and our instructors with you 40 hours a week. So we're different in how we deliver it. We're different than anyone else in the country, how we do it, because we believe in the teacher, coach, mentor model, and we live that out in the way we staff it. So look at that. Those are the kind of things you can look at. But if you're going to go to one of the cheaper boot camps and they're using like pre-recorded material, go self-taught route for several weeks. Make sure you understand generally how to use VS Code and how to code a little bit. And then before you go on that route and you get more out of it. So anyway, I hope that helps.
There you go. I don't think our friend Tech Rally Alex is here at the minute, but I did see.
We're going to plug his thing.
So like, I did see on Twitter he is doing a giveaway. So if you guys want to go and do this, you can do that. He says, thank you for.
If you follow me on Twitter, I retweeted it, and you can go on it, or you can just look up Tech Rally, and he's doing a giveaway on building your portfolio, which we think everyone needs to have. You need to build a portfolio. And so he's got a course that he's put together, and maybe you can win this for free. He's giving away 3 of them. So that's kind of cool, right?
I'm going to retweet it. Hopefully I don't win.
We like Alex. We think he's a good dude. And, you know, he's got a course out there. It's kind of cool. We don't get anything for this. We're not an affiliate or anything like that. We just like Alex. So like, so whether you win or buy his course or not.
That's the thing. If you don't win, go buy it. He's actually got it on sale still, I think, for like $15 or something. And most is like 25. Cheap. So it's,
it's not super expensive. So I think it's pretty good.
Yep. Definitely.
All right, cool.
So go check that out.
All right. Give him a shout out.
I don't think he's here though. He would have said something right now. But if he comes on later, everybody let him know in chat that you bought his course.
That we plugged his course.
If you see him in chat. Let's see. Sakio says, I want it to be known that learning JavaScript sucks. Blazor, here I come.
Okay, cool. We're going to release some Blazor content soon, so you'll be able to learn from us. So it's kind of cool.
Yep.
Should be exciting.
Blazor might not be easier to learn though. I mean, you know, you're saying like learning JavaScript sucks.
Yeah, it's just different.
Blazor might not be different, but you know, I mean,
it's different.
Learning's not easy for anybody, really.
Yeah.
Let's see. Georgie wants to know: will there be reminders on subscription renewals? You know, I'm not sure. We haven't.
Imagine there is. I'm sure.
I don't know. I imagine there is. Yeah. I'm not sure on the tool.
Yeah.
So I need to actually ask somebody who's in the monthly subscription thing if they get renewals. I'm sure there is. I'm not 100% though.
I don't know if they get reminders. Sure. It may just automatically renew.
It may.
It may do that.
I don't know. There's nothing. Whatever it does is what it does. We can't control like what the tool itself does. There's no way to turn it on or turn it off. I know that for sure. Whatever happens, kind of happens.
If you're worried about it redoing next year, just go ahead and go in there and
cancel
check
it. If you don't want it to renew, just cancel it.
Yeah.
But don't forget, if you did buy it at the initial price and you cancel it, you cannot get it back at that price.
No, we're not going to offer 129 ever again.
So
if you're sitting on that 129, we're going to be adding new content this year, so we'll have more reasons for you to learn new stuff. So it's a pretty good deal.
Yep.
Still.
Yep. Here's an interesting question from my namesake Kevin. It says, what is the average salary for junior .NET developers?
So it depends on where you live and where you're at. Let's talk about US. Here's what we counsel students on. If you're coming out of our program, you got 3 .NET apps under your belt, and we're advertising for junior devs. Somewhere over 40, we think 40 is the minimum wage, to 65 is kind of what you could expect in most things in the Midwest and the Southeast. Now, it could be higher in bigger cities. So like if you're out in California, it could be higher. New York, it could be higher. And what we always tell people is the job that you get out of our boot camp isn't your final job. It's not your last job. It's just your first job. The first one you're doing for the experience. The second job you can do for things like passion, money, and that kind of stuff. And so what I want you to think about, Kevin, is let's say that you're working in a job and you're already making in mid-50s and something. And so like the first .NET job's going to be a lateral move. And you're like, I don't know, man, that's not really worth it. Think about it 3 to 5 years
think about the roof, don't you? You got to think about the roof.
Yeah. it's road to 100K. It won't happen instantly in most cases. And so we just be very honest with it, say, hey man, this is kind of where it's going to land. We've seen 65, we've seen 75, we've seen 105 coming out of the boot camp, but that's not typical. And then some of those are contracts. It's an hourly rate, so it's different. And everyone's expertise is different. Also, there are also people that come through our boot camp too that have experience walking in the door. So it is different for them. Like they have more experience. And so if you're a junior .NET developer with no experience whatsoever, take any offer you get over 40, turn that into 1 year's experience, and then go back in the job market a year later, and you'll make north of 65 for sure.
Yep.
So
that's
if you're good at your job, you got to be committed to your craft.
See, isn't it? I mean, that's what we're seeing based on our experience in our market where we are generally. We obviously have students from all over the US now too, so we're seeing some other markets too. And you're right, that seems to be kind of the general numbers, with the exception of big cities. You go West Coast, East Coast; those are two different things. But for most of the US, that's the way it is. Now, for the rest of the world, we really don't know. We spoke with a recruiter.
So if you're in London, it may be smaller. If you're out in India, it's definitely lower than that.
It's kind of funny because I remember we spoke with a recruiter in the UK, in my near hometown of Nottingham before, and salaries there were way lower than they are here, which really surprised me. It really did. They were much lower. I was kind of shocked. You know, for there's a lot of comparisons between those two countries, especially in terms of just like economics and things. But it's like, wow, most other jobs I think are on par, with the exception of developer. I'm not quite sure why.
I don't know.
So you can't
but
always.
I still think it's worthwhile doing it, and it's definitely a career path. Think of it 3 to 5 years, not next week. If you have that outlook, you'll get to where you want to be eventually.
Yep. See here. Next question. What do we have? So another one from Sienta. Again, hope I'm getting that right. Spending 4 to 5 hours each day coding with your course. How long will it take to become a full stack, please?
So when you can competently build the bug tracker and the blog site in the self-paced course, and you feel like you can understand those concepts and you can talk about those concepts, then when you get there, you get there. So I don't know how long it's going to take you. I mean, but probably 3 months or so. But it's not a long time to spend. Make sure that you understand how to talk about it as well as communicate it. There's some new content coming in the self-paced course that goes through the top 30 .NET interview questions that we're building out, and you'll be able to like take that question, see the answer, and then see where the answer appears in code. And so that's one thing we're working on right now. That should come out in the next. We're just finalizing that content. That's definitely in the next couple of weeks that you'll start seeing those out there. So, and that'll help you to see kind of where you're at if you can answer those questions and then see where it's located in your code. And if you can explain your code to somebody, you're going to get a job. That's how I look at this. Like if you can explain it, you can get a job, and that's not magic. That's not blowing smoke to anybody.
Understanding it, doesn't it? It's like
understanding
it's the act
it and
of doing
it,
and then understanding.
You'll get a job.
Yeah.
You know, now if you're just copying stuff what we do and you don't really understand it, it's going to be harder to transition. So now you need to go back and review what you've done and see if you can understand it, and maybe even build certain parts of the bug tracker again without the videos to see, could I do that again? Could I scaffold those views again without a lot of instruction? Just see if you can do that. That'll help you too. So good luck. I hope that helps.
Let's see. Mudacia wants to know, what do you think about Golang, competitor of Java and C#?
So Go is the Google language, I believe, and they all do different things and they're used for different things. So like, I don't know. I mean, like, I think if I had to pick 2 of these 3, the one I'm most bullish on C#, then it would be Go, and then third would be Java. I just think that Java is supported by a different company, and I just don't know if that's what they're committed to doing. And so like, whereas Go and C#, you can see those two companies pushing those out harder. So like, I do think there's a place for Go to do what you want to do. When you look at C#, what are the things you're trying to build? Website, mobile, gaming, C#. C# is really good. What are you trying to build in Go? Can you build mobile? Yeah. Can you build backend services? Yeah. So like, look at what are the use cases for Go, I've heard a lot of people talking about like, I need things like parallel task parallelism and all that kind of stuff, and Go superior there than over C#. And I'm like, okay, I can buy that maybe. But if you're not, that's not why you picked the language unless you're going to be doing that. So like, look at, like,
that's funny. Yeah, it's great, really great in this space.
But I never do that.
I wanted to build websites.
I'm never doing that. So like, I'm building websites. So then you got to look at like, what are you trying to build, and then pick the stack on that. Still to this day, ASP.NET, C#, with Web API and all the Blazor and all the things that's happening in the C# ecosystem with .NET is really, really strong. It doesn't mean Google's going to go away and really not push their Go language. I think they're going to try to do that, and they're going to try to put that and do what they're doing on the C# side. So if you're building Flutter, probably Go is where you want to roll. I mean, that's probably what you're going to be using. You're not going to be using C# to build Flutter. You would use C# to use Xamarin or .NET MAUI. So it depends on what you're doing and how you're building and what I think about it. So
there you go. Danny's using Go professionally, loves it. As a beginner, wouldn't recommend it. So there you go. That's somebody who has experience with at least Java and Go, I know for sure. Yeah, so there you go.
Yeah.
Also this, which is I think you were kind of alluding to too. There's not as many junior positions for languages like Go there are for others.
Okay. Yeah. And to be fair, I haven't done a lot of research into what the Go job market is really. I mean, so like it's still fairly new, but I think it's going to be tailored towards certain activities that I'm trying to build. And if I'm using the Google platform to do that, like there's going to be more tailored there. I know that you can use Go to build serverless functions up in AWS. I do know that's used for Flutter if you're going to build cross-platform mobile. I don't know what the web story is for it, and someone could describe that to me and tell me this is how you use it to build, but I do know you can build serverless functions, with it. So we'll just see how it plays out.
I love this. You're gonna love this question. So Dylan says, I don't have a degree and I never get hired even though I explain and build code fluently. So not necessarily a question, but a statement. I would say there's something you're missing, Dylan.
Yeah. So Dylan, here's what I want you to think about. We've been doing a lot of research into this, and then when we see people interview, you need to start really looking at like, what am I doing wrong? Because if you can build and explain code, like you said, fluently, then there's something wrong in the interview process. Okay. So, hey, here's what I want you to do. Get someone else that with knowledge that you respect, doesn't have to be me, maybe anybody, and look at your portfolio. Okay. Are your portfolio projects up to a professional level, or are they really simple? When you say I code and explain code fluently, at what level is it fluently? Are we talking about like simple programs or more complex programs, those kind of things? So I promise you, your lack of a degree is not holding you back. You can get a job, a CS job or coding job without a degree. And because you haven't been hired now doesn't mean you won't be hired in the future. It does take a lot of practice to get through the interview session. Second, write down every single question that you get asked in your next interview and see if you knew the answer to those. Be objective about what you're doing. I look at this as like, there's a lot going on internally that we have that impacts our outside more than we think. And so there's not an external force keeping you from getting a job. There's more than likely there's something missing in your portfolio or something like that that's a weakness that you can address and that you can overcome and that you can then turn around and get that into a job. I've seen plenty of people do it. So, don't give up is what I'm saying.
Here's the thing too. Obviously, the fact that the way that you've worded this too, the fact that you lead with, I don't have a degree, I never get hired. So you feel like not having a degree is what's holding you back. We can tell you very much firsthand, from experience, not from guessing, that's not the reason why. We literally see, hundreds of people who have not had a degree of any kind, related / unrelated, get developer jobs.
Now, so it does depend on where you live. We're talking about the U.S. market, so I'm assuming you're in the U.S. If you're not, if you're somewhere overseas, maybe that's different than it is here, and so maybe a degree has to be something. If people are telling you, I would hire you if you had a degree, and you get that message from where you live 25 times, you interview 25 times, like, man, I really like you, Dylan. Well, then but if you just had a degree, I would hire you. Then go get a degree somehow.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's the case. I think most of it can be overcome with a really strong portfolio of projects that you can show that you can do the work and you have proof of work. And I think you can overcome those.
I think what happens is a lot of times you feel like you're failing at this thing and you need to find an excuse. I'm going to call it an excuse for why you're failing. And you see, well, I don't have a degree, so therefore that's my excuse / reason, whatever you want to call it, but it's not. No. It's not. Keep at it. Keep at it.
Yeah, and we say these things not to disparage you, but to give you hope. There is not an external force that's keeping you from happening. It's something that you're doing fundamentally wrong in the interview process or what they're seeing, and that's why you're not getting hired. And those are things that you control, that you can correct, and I think you can do it. So just keep at it, and you'll get there. You'll make it.
And I'll put this up, even though I think Danny is a little bit of an outlier, but I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why though. So it doesn't have a degree, earns well over 6 figures, speaks. You all know who Danny is. Doesn't have a degree, right? So it's but I think Danny is also one of those people who is gonna succeed, period, because of who he is, because of how he sees. Yeah. Because he's just gonna make it happen, period. Yeah. If Danny wanted to be an actor, he'd be an actor. It's just one of those things.
So what I call this is like, Danny is a very internally focused person. So external factors impact his life, but his internal motivation sees ways to overcome any of those external factors, whatever they may be. I'm not saying he has them, but we all do. We all have systematic or external factors. The problem is when we allow the external factor to go like this, and we say, I can't do this because of ABC, I don't have a degree. Well, Danny was making fried chicken in a gas station. He said, well, I'm not gonna let that stop me. Most people quit right there because they say, I can't do this.
I can't get past that.
And I think, Danny's more of the person that says, oh, it's not that you can't, it's that you won't do this because I did that. Like I overcame all of those things and I found a way to make it happen. And so now he's internet famous. So
I like it. Okay. Do some other questions here. One of my biggest plans is finished up as I'm in the JavaScript section now. Thank you for this huge opportunities. I was going to go in the course the other bit. Okay, cool.
Oh yeah, cool, awesome. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Keep after the JavaScript stuff. Build all those apps. Build every single one of them, and try to build them without the videos after you've built them out. So there's several in there. So you can definitely learn a lot about JavaScript in there. It won't be everything, but it's enough to get a job with for sure.
And that's kind of the point.
That's all we want. Yep.
Okay, N17 Hero wants to know question we have to answer separately.
So
demanding. So
we got to get a light on us. Answer the question, Kevin.
Exactly. One thing in tech you hope to see in 2022, and one thing you really hope doesn't happen.
Oh, okay.
I know one thing I want to see. Thank you for the super chat.
Thank you, man.
Some good front end project. All right, we'll come to that in one second.
In a second. I got a good one for you.
Add that to the queue. We definitely get that. So I don't have. You have. Okay, what do you want to? Let's do our want to sees first. Do you have one you want to see?
Oh yeah, I want to see lots of Blazor projects. That's what I want to see.
Okay.
I would like to see that. Yeah, I think we will. But like, I want to see it too. I definitely think WebAssembly is going to be taken over, and I think that we're going to see that come through in 2022. That's what I want to see. What I don't want to happen is another stinking COVID virus. Let's just get rid of that and just get back to normal as we can. You know, like I just like to see that.
Can we not see it? Whatever what's the next one? Whatever the next thing.
I don't know. They're running out of letters, man.
I know. We're gonna go back. We'll have Delta Mark II. That's actually my hope too. That I don't want to see. Which it's not a tech thing, but it is a tech thing because it affects all of us. Yeah. But let's get this thing over and done with, or to a point where we can kind of manage it so it's more like and we don't have to.
So you can go on vacation and go on vacation next year and
trying to go
to all the places around the world.
Trying to go on vacation next year. I haven't been anywhere in 2 years. The one thing that I want to see, though, mine's a little bit different. I want to see these. I want to see more VR and AR, and specifically, I want to see these Apple glasses.
Yeah, I would like to see the Apple glasses.
I want to see Apple's AR. I just want to see what it's like. When they announce it, will I be in? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be in.
Yeah, I'm gonna be in. I'm gonna. It doesn't even matter what it's gonna cost because it's not gonna cost 5 figures, right? It's gonna cost it's going to cost $4 something. It's going to be over $1,000.
I think it's going to be the price of the phone. It's going to be the price of the iPhone.
I think it's going to be $1,000 and something. And at that point, I'm in on their first generation thing.
I mean, if you think about HoloLens is $4,000. I mean, like HoloLens is $4,000.
It's not going to be that price. It's not going to be that price.
It's going to be way cheaper now.
And here's why I think it's going to be cheaper too. It's going to be a consumer device. Apple doesn't release things like Google have done with their glasses. Right. They don't release dev-focused devices, right? They just don't.
Yeah, they don't.
They would rather do all that internally and do everything themselves, and then push that stuff and be a working consumer product. So it'll be just like the iPhone was. Remember when the first iPhone came out? It wasn't the best phone at the time, but the things that it did, it allowed them to push forward with other things. It was great. It was game-changing, but it didn't do everything that you wanted it to do. It was kind of like there was no app store. Don't forget, it only ran web apps at the time. It was a big.
They're gonna win. They're gonna win the store. They know that there's a new store coming, and they want to win in that arena with the store. And so they can't wait too much longer because Meta's gonna get a head start on them. So I promise you that there's gonna be a lot of devices come out this year.
It is. I think the next Meta device too could have better AR capabilities. And actually, it's kind of fun. I have my Oculus over here, and it's I updated it yesterday. Everybody's jumping on. Everybody got one for Christmas. So I thought I'd jump back on mine and played it in a minute. But I think the next version of that will push more into the AR side of things. It has cameras on it. You can do the pass-through thing, so you can see AR stuff.
Yeah.
But I think the next one will be significantly stronger in the AR side of things, which I'm super looking forward to. It's still a clunky headset. I think the Apple one will be a more sleek version, but I'm also looking forward to see what Meta does with theirs. Keep pushing each other. That's what we need. We need all these companies to compete, and we end up with great
AMD
technology.
and Intel. AMD and Intel drove chips, so that's what we needed to happen. Keep it doing it.
Exactly.
All right, well, thanks. All right, let's go back to our super chat.
Here we go. Thank you for the super chat. So Planet Yo wants to say, could you guys give us some good front-end projects to build to get hired? Like it.
So one that we like a lot, and actually the reason I'm bringing this up is because someone used this and got a job with it a couple of weeks ago, which is a mortgage calculator. And it's a completely front-end thing where you can go and calculate monthly mortgage payments for a loan, like a 30-year simple interest loan or a 5-year car loan, something like that. You add an interest rate, and it runs that down the amortization list on the page. A lot of people like that. It's business focused, solves a business problem. There's proof of work built into it because typically if you interview with somebody, they've got a car loan or they've got a house loan, they can plug in their stuff in it, and then suddenly that mortgage payment matches theirs, and they're like, oh, that's kind of cool, so there's a lot you could do with that. You could enhance it more. If you want to look at what these look like, I think you can go to something called bankrate.com and you can go look at what they look like, and you can fashion yours in and around that. Now they have like insurance and other kind of things that they add in there, PMI, and you can add that if you want. But if you just did the simple loan with just interest and payments, run it down for 30 years, I think that's pretty sufficient. So hopefully that helps. And you can just Google how to calculate mortgage payments online and give you the formula to do it. So it's a little bit of complicated math, but you just go Google it and it'll tell you how to do it. Hope that helps.
Okay, I like this question. So Thrill of the Fright name. I have an unrelated master's degree, Master of Library Science. Awesome. Is it worth putting on my resume, or am I better off leaving it off when I apply to software?
So, any master's degree or a bachelor's degree in college is worth putting on your resume. It's just not the top thing.
Yep.
But I mean, if you've got a master's degree in something, library science doesn't really matter. You need to put it on your
It shows you're committed to doing something. That's what it shows.
And you can learn and you can do things like that. So I think it's great.
Yep, definitely.
But when you're applying software jobs, your portfolio should be higher, your projects should be higher above that. But there's a lot of companies that you must have a college degree to work here, and so bam, you can put that in there.
What if you also go to an interview and it's somewhere like, I don't know, a textbook company who's they're doing college textbooks and they also need an app developed. You have a massive in now. You understand like library science too. It's like, hold on. Not only do we need somebody who can build applications, but somebody who can understand this side of it too. You can leverage that. You should be looking at jobs that kind of can put those two things together. You have an advantage.
That's the perfect brand. Library of Congress in DC or something like that. Maybe they're building an app or something. I don't know.
I mean, these companies that are textbook sellers and stuff, they have apps 100%. They're like somebody who understood that side of the thing for sure. And speaking of that too, I saw there was a news article. It was on TV. I think I saw it on TV actually. They were talking about the delivery app. What is it? Is it Grubhub? Might have been Grubhub. Might have been the other one. What's the other one? DoorDash. So as a DoorDash employee, even the developers, they actually have them do the job of door dashing. And I was like, and my wife was like, wow, that's kind of crazy. You could be, making a couple $100,000 a year as a developer, and you're having to do a DoorDash for a day. And I was like, yes, like that's genius because you understand the problem.
So I tweeted back on that story a couple of weeks ago, and I was, a real life story for me was I was building a survey system for a really large chemical manufacturer, and a company called Ecolab. And so what they did was they made cleaning materials for all the large quick service restaurants, the QSR, and so the McDonald's, KFCs, all those. And they did it for big grocery stores. And so what this thing would do is it would allow them to go through a health and safety inspection before the health and safety department came out. So you could see where you're at. And so this system allowed us to help them do that. And then it also, of course, the company wanted you to train, this is how you clean it, use our materials to do this, that kind of stuff. So I can remember going to multiple Walmarts and grocery stores for a pretty good period of time to not only use the app, but then to watch them use the app and then go through some of the, I was cleaning ovens, man. I mean, so how does this material work? What do we use in this thing? Because I wanted to understand, do the instructions that we're giving you out match with the real world? And then is the app in my hand? Does it matter? What do I do with it? When I'm answering all these questions. So it does help when you have to go and actually use your software while you're trying to do it. And it makes you start seeing problems people run into right away, right off the bat. You never even considered.
Exactly. You think you have an understanding of it, but you really don't.
Yeah. And understand that some people are like, dude, I didn't hire on to go to DoorDash. I got in the job so I wouldn't have to DoorDash for a living. And I get that. But I mean, there can be, and then also a lot of people there's way better ways to do user research. I'm like, really? Is there? I mean,
sure there is. I like this idea.
Understand. Is it every month a problem? I don't know, maybe, but you should do it. You should do it quite frequently to see kind of how your app is perceived in the marketplace in the user's hands, I think.
Right.
Anyway, that's what I think.
Yeah.
So I was in grocery stores for a while, cleaning up spilt milk.
Oh, Danny Thompson coming in with a $50. Look at that.
A 50 bomb. All right.
What's he say? I just released the most in-depth video ever. Shows actually devs. Yeah, I actually I saw your video, Danny. Actually, I don't. Hold on, your whole thing didn't.
Get it back up there. We'll get it back on there.
It's still gonna cut it off. But hold on.
Yep.
Technical side of things, industry insights. Made this to help bootcamp students understand the actual job. Can you all show love? Yeah, of course. I actually I did watch your video, Danny. I liked it on YouTube. Yeah.
Okay.
Go check it out. I think it's the latest video on your channel, right? I think it is.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so. It's good. Yeah, go watch it. I like it.
Sorry we didn't get all the words up there, but go check out his video on the technical side of things with the industry insights. That's kind of cool. Day to day, I think it's about what developers do during the day, and it's kind of funny.
Yeah, exactly.
I ask that question all the time, when they're coming into boot camp. It's like, hey, what do you do?
What do you think it is?
What do you think a software developer does? And then and when they answer, I have no idea. I'm like, well, why are you trying to get a job doing this? If you don't even know what that we do all day, what do you think happens? So it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
So there's a very romantic view of coding.
Exactly.
And then there's the real world where what it looks like? It's probably a cube with headsets on. I would say get you some noise canceling headsets and you're just typing all day. So if you're super fit and you like to run, coding's probably not for you. You
got to try and fit that in somewhere because it's not
some way.
Yeah,
it just doesn't work out. There's a reason programmers are mostly fat because we're sitting at a desk all day. Coding away. So anyway, I think that's kind of funny.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Danny. Thanks a lot, man. 50 bomb.
Thanks,
all right.
I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
That's lots of tacos.
Oh, speaking of, look, here you go. Resting wants to know, how's your fitness journey for 2021? Derailed
I
a
can
little
tell
bit.
you, it derailed. Like I can tell you, I was in a really good space, and I don't mind talking about it now in the post. I was a really good space. I was doing 100 squats, 100 push-ups, and 100 other things like lat pulls and everything like that, 3 to 4 days per week in the morning. And I was go through what they call centuries. I was killing it. I was doing really well. And some of them were weight assisted, and some of them with the bands. I was doing really well. And then I got COVID, and I was down for, I don't know, a good part of the summer, like 3 months. Yeah. And I can tell you, since that happened, I haven't got back into it. So like, I was just thinking about the day that I need to go back into the gym and get back into it. Also, it's a couple of things. The personal trainer I was using moved at the same time. And like, there's a lot of things that I need to get back into it.
Yeah.
But I was doing really great until I don't know, people don't know this. I don't talk about my personal life, but I got really sick for many, many weeks. And I was in the hospital for a minute with COVID. And, you know, it was a long road to recover. But I'm back now, so like I'm ready to get back into the gym and do some workouts.
And the gym's right next door still, right?
Yeah, no, it's still next door.
It's still next door. It's just like it's like it is super convenient having the gym literally next door to the building. Yeah. It's like people come through go to Foundry, and we've had employees in the past. At some point, everybody goes to the gym next door.
Yeah, it works out. So
and then Alan tries to kill them, and then they quit. That's what happens.
And they quit. Yeah.
I see it all the time. It's funny. Okay. Okay. So Ed wants to know. I want to ask. That is learning PHP language in 2022 worth it? So,
all right. I think so. Yes. And so, like, what you're going to be doing, what you need to look at is that PHP predominantly is used in and around WordPress sites. So, if you're going to work on what I would say, if you're going to learn PHP, also learn how to build WordPress plugins. I think that is a skill that you can put together, and you can turn that into a job. Are there other frameworks out there that you build a website with, like Laravel? Yeah, I mean, there's other ones out there, but if that's the route you're going to go, then you need to look at the other frameworks that are more in demand than that one. So think about it. So like if you're saying, I want to build full stack web development, and I'm going to use PHP to do that, you absolutely can do that. It's just less opportunities than there are for like ASP.NET or React.
And I think it's important too, because you're going to look at the opportunities and you're going to say, oh, there's a ton for PHP, but you have to make sure that you look, it's WordPress PHP. It's different.
That's what you're going to be doing. So like, and that's okay if that's what you want to do. Just know that so many people say, I'm just going to learn a language just to learn it, but learn whatever you're learning, how am I going to apply that in the marketplace? What are the jobs? What are the opportunities? And look for that first, then learn it. So can I make a job with PHP? 100% yes. Can you make a lot of money doing WordPress sites? Yes, you can. You know, could you build a WordPress plugin and sell it? You could do that too. That's another thing you can do. So I think it's worth doing. So cool. Hope that helps, Saeed.
Cool. Let's see. Duo says, I signed up for the self-paced bootcamp. I was an apprentice as DevOps junior dev, and I haven't had time to do the bootcamp. Any advice? Time management or getting motivated?
Get after it.
Yeah. How does Alan next door motivate? Because he's like Mr.
He just
Motivation.
yells at you.
He just yells at you till you do it. That's funny.
Yeah. It's like, what are you doing? Why are you tired? That's what he'll say. Why are you tired?
Why are you tired?
Does that hurt? Okay. Yes, it hurts. We'll keep doing it. So we always have to find a way what you want to do. Here's the thing that I think motivates people that I try to use. One of the techniques I try to use in the bootcamp is find out why you started to code anyway. What is your internal why? Okay, you're working in a DevOps. Why do you want to be a coder? That could be money. It could be a lot of things. You know, put that on a Post-it note somewhere where you can see it all the time to remind yourself of why you're doing this, and that keeps me motivated. Like my internal why. And once you really establish that, then you can remind yourself that why that can keep you not doing it. So also, if you miss a couple of days, this is the one thing I have a problem with 100 days of code. People say, I missed day 12. I'm such a loser. Like, dude, you don't have to do it in a row.
Day 12 can be tomorrow.
Yeah. Like day 12's tomorrow. You don't have to tell anybody that you took the weekend off. I mean, so just stay motivated by looking at your internal why, and then if you fall off the wagon, just keep going and keep doing it and keep building projects. Set goals of things you want to complete in the self-paced course. So if you're in the JavaScript section, say, I'm going to do this video tonight. I'm going to watch this one on the mortgage calc. I think it's one of those in there. I'm going to learn how to build that tonight. You know, if you're going through the bootstrap section, say, I'm going to watch these couple of videos tonight and I'm going to see how that works. And then, so set small goals, small attainable goals, and keep doing them. And then revise those goals as you go along. I hope that helps.
There you go. Here's a loaded question for you from Felix. Future C# and .NET framework. Look at it. Is it safe to learn .NET in 2022 and beyond?
Yeah, I think this is the safest bet of all the bets that we've been talking about. What we can do in 2022 is learn C#. Like, there is no doubt that Microsoft, one of the largest companies in the world, is going to push C# exceptionally hard in this. When we talk about the .NET 6 release that came out, and when you're seeing people take a .NET 5 web API, just recompile it on our .NET 6, and that thing runs 65% or 75% faster just by doing that, people are going to adopt this with the quickness. There are a lot of companies out there that are going to continue to look at the advancements that Microsoft has poured into not only the language, the framework, and everything else to make their apps run faster, more performant, use less resources in the cloud. Like, you know, as we all know, less CPU cycles means that cloud bill can come down. So that's pretty cool. It's amazing that Microsoft would even focus so much as performance as a feature as they did, because they sell cloud services. They want it to be high. They want the CPU to be high. So, but you know, this is they also know that the customers are happy when they see those speed performance and all those things coming down the pipe. Then when you look at the tooling and Blazor and .NET MAUI and all the other things that they're doing simultaneously that only a large company like Microsoft could really pull off, it's a safe bet. So you can pick something like Java, and this is why I'm sort of like cooler on Java, just because of who's behind Java, which is Oracle. It's like, what are they really doing with the language? Are they really pushing it forward? Are they really going to try to push that ecosphere? Now that it's really not the top end language for writing Android applications, that has been moved over. Google's went in a different direction. Like, really, what are the prospects for that? But when you look at C#, the prospects are huge in all areas of development. And if AR becomes like what we think it's going to be, that is absolutely going to be Unity, StereoKit, and something like Unreal. Those are the things that you're going to be building. All of those use C++ or C#. So C#'s a good bet. Yep. I can say definitively, you don't have to choose it. It doesn't have to be the best one. You're saying, is it safe? 100%.
It's going to be good. Yeah.
It's
going to be others that are good too, but it's going to be good. Yeah. It's not going to be good. Away.
This is not something that you're going to be risky. Like, man, I shouldn't have done that.
Right.
You'll be happy.
I'm going to go a little bit out of order here because I like this one, because we've literally been talking about this fairly recently. So to be a good full stack dev, aside from server-side coding, should you know Photoshop, Figma fairly decent for layouts and imaging, along with really good CSS skills?
So here's what I'm going to say. I don't know jack about Figma. I don't think you need to know Figma to be doing it. Like, unless the company that you're working
for
does
they're using it and they're kind of, exactly. It's on the job.
But if that helps you visualize a layout or design, fine. All right. So I'm going to leave Figma out of there. Do you have to be good with Photoshop? I know very few people that are good with Photoshop that are developers. I happen to be fairly decent with Photoshop. Okay. So I'm not saying that I'm a Photoshop master. I'm not saying that, but if you ask me to build something in Photoshop, you see me do it. I can make stuff in Photoshop. Like, and it turns out looking okay. What I do is to overcome some of my limitation on my design side is and I'm going to let you know my secret here. I have a Shutterstock subscription. Me and Kevin both do that. And we use it for a couple ways almost every day. It's like when we're building something, we're looking through Shutterstock to get inspiration or be something we can work from. And sometimes we'll say, hey, look at that. That's kind of cool. And we may use that, or we may just go off and build something without it because, like, it's not exactly like that, but that triggered the idea that we need. So, but a lot of times we're into Photoshop, Illustrator, because we're pulling those designs into Photoshop or Illustrator and changing them and then exporting them out to where we want it. The second thing that increasingly we're going to talk about in the bootcamp and on the self-paced course, as soon as I can get this thing done, is talking about how we use Photoshop to make responsive images. Yep. That is the skill that I think you need to know how to do. Like, in other words, like, how do I use an image editing tool to make a banner look good on mobile and look good on a 4K, and not just use background colon cover. And it just moves it around, and it's all kind of jacked up. It's not right. It's hit and miss. The widths are too tall, or the heights are too tall. And, so we're going to put some stuff together that shows people the thought process behind that and the techniques inside of CSS with media breakpoints and using the picture element and things like that. So do you need really good CSS skills? 100% yes. Can you only do it with Bootstrap? That's what I do. I think you can build a completely crazy full stack web app, use Bootstrap as your primary way to build CSS with some custom CSS. Obviously, you'll need some of those stylings. And then, so if you know Bootstrap really well for layouts, you can achieve anything you want to. And so I'm building something right now where the challenge was I'm going to build this entire thing with just Bootstrap and a little bit of custom CSS work. How do I do that? So I couldn't use any components outside of that. So I'm just showing you kind of what you can do. But yeah, Photoshop image editing is very good. Learn how to crop inside of Photoshop. And then CSS is probably the one that you need to know more than anything.
I think that's the key, yeah. And when we say Photoshop too, I mean, obviously Adobe Photoshop is the flagship kind of thing that we often use. There's some other things, there's some other apps you can use that are free. There's some online tools you can use to crop these things too, but that's what it comes down to. It's understanding that image and aspect ratios and those kind of things. And we're going to add that to the course.
But for Troy, you're doing this for a living. You're getting paid the developer salary for a living. Is it worth investing in Creative Suite for $50 a month? Probably.
You don't even need Creative Suite, by the way. Photoshop.
You could just get Photoshop for $29. But so it's probably worth doing at this point. Before you had to buy the whole piece of software, and it was like $900 or something like that. That's fairly inexpensive. I would definitely do that, and I would definitely get into layouts with CSS, either with Bootstrap or learning how Flexbox works. One of those two things you need to know how to do. Notice I didn't mention Tailwind. You can do that if you want. I just think Bootstrap is more prevalent in the industry right now today.
Yep.
I'll switch to Tailwind when I have to.
And then I would say anything on top of that you need to do custom, you can just, guess what? Google it.
Google it, most of that custom. cs-tricks.com. I'm on that thing all the time. You're like, hey, they got a slick looking button here. I'm going to look at that, see if I can do it. I don't copy things verbatim. Usually it's that's sort of what I want, and I bring that in and modify it. It's typically what I'm doing.
Yep.
Hope that helps.
Let me see.
I'll
jump a little bit out of order again here, because I like the question. David says, I'm 18, finishing a boot camp, and will begin applying in 4 weeks. First tip, don't wait 4 weeks, David. Should I put a focus on my age or not? How should I handle that topic?
It's funny. Well, let me ask you a question. I'm just wondering, do you think you're too old?
I'm guessing he's going the other way, and he's going to think he's too young, but we've also seen people like, this 14-year-old kid over here is slaying it, and he's like, I'm over the hill now at 18. But Brian, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. Happy New Year to you too.
Thank you, man.
New Year.
Got the taco with the hat there. I like it.
I like it. But yes, so I'm guessing he's asking, he's only 18.
So
I'm guessing that's what he's saying.
Here's what I keep saying about age. Age is the one thing you can't change. You can't change it at you're 18. You can't change it at you're 65. So why even worry about it? There's nothing you can do about it either way or not. So you don't need to say, hey, I'm only 18, but I'm an uppercomer. No, I don't think you need to do that. I don't think you need to say, I'm a genius at 18. Just imagine what I'll be like when I'm 24. Right. You don't need to say that either. What you need to say, David, is, I'm a developer. Here's the 3 things I'm going to bring to this job. I can do these things. Look at my portfolio. Look at my stuff. And hire me because I can help you do it. That's what you do. And it doesn't matter how old you are. It matters that do you have the skill required to do the job. That's all that matters. When you acquired that, you just started earlier or you're later, it doesn't really matter. So that's how you handle it. If they say, hey, you're only 18, are you going to show up for work? The answer is yes, I'm going to show up for work. I'm going to be a professional. Right. That's typically when they say you're too young, you're not mature enough to work in the workplace. Just tell them that you're hardworking, dedicated, and that's what I'm doing. So I think you can break in. Is it a stigma? It might be, but you can't change it. So don't worry about it.
Yeah, you got to work with what you got.
All you can do is live life and get older. I mean, eventually you'll be 25 and it won't matter. So I wouldn't worry about it.
Okay, I'm gonna pick and choose some here to finish this out. Paolo wants to know, in your opinion, mobile dev, will it be a better option in the future financially?
I think you can make money as a mobile dev and a web dev for sure. I think both. I think there's more web dev jobs than there are mobile dev jobs, but you can make money doing a mobile dev. Sure.
I think mobile dev turns into AR dev at some point. That's the issue that I have.
Eventually,
because I think eventually those glasses will replace the mobile device. Desktop's kind of always going to kind of be around, I think, or maybe not. Maybe AR will also replace a desktop. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's pretty awesome to put on VR goggles right now and have a giant virtual screen in front of me and use an actual keyboard. It's cool.
It's pretty good, man.
It's pretty good. Cool. It just needs to be a slightly slicker experience, and we're there.
Yeah.
We're pretty much there. So
I mean, even if you still want to rock your mechanical keyboard, having the big screen like that could be kind of cool. You know?
Yeah. Yep.
I definitely think so.
But that's a ways away. But
it's a ways away. But a mobile dev, learning those skills right now, it's what I've always said. If you're not working right now, do what's mainstream right now. So like mobile devs definitely hit the mainstream. You definitely can find a job doing it. I think it's cross-platform. You should focus in on one of the 3 cross-platforms, either React Native or Flutter. But if you want to just hit one, then I would pick Swift over that. I mean, iOS, because that's, still 50% of the market. Android develops the other 50. You could pick Flutter and hit both. You could pick Xamarin and hit both. You could pick React Native and hit both. But I think cross-platform is the way to go there. But you can make money doing it. It's not like mobile devs are making minimum wage here in the US. They're making equivalent to a web dev, for sure.
Just to go back to this real quick, David said, "Oh no, I meant finishing in 4 weeks and immediately we'll begin applying." Apply before. Like, if you have a portfolio right now, like you got stuff to show, go ahead. Don't wait to finish.
Go for it. Yeah.
You
can still be working on stuff.
Exactly, especially early January, because you'll see if there were markets where people before, like jobs where, like maybe they shut down for like Christmas or whatever, which is kind of common. Less so this year. We've seen people literally interviewing like within this week.
We had someone interview this morning. We were helping them this morning.
Which is unheard of, by the way.
Unheard of. Day before New Year's Eve. I mean, like crazy. Most people are gone all week. But she applied she was interviewing this morning. So as soon as you got something to show, you got a portfolio, don't break your portfolio, keep it up and running, and then start interviewing.
Yep.
It'll be good.
Get on it. Definitely. Okay. We're a few minutes after, but let's do let's
one for the road.
Let's do it. Let's see. It's one we don't get very often. Interesting question. Would it harm my career if I take a sabbatical from 6 months to 1 year? Your take on that?
You're gonna have to answer questions about it, but can you overcome it? Yes. We have seen people that have gotten sick and they were out of work for 15 years. So
right, and still manage to break in.
You manage to break in. So it's up to you. Can you show the skills that you have, and so if you're taking time off to go climb the 14 largest peaks in the world, I mean, you can do that. I was watching that thing on Netflix last night. So sorry about that. The one guy that wants the 14th biggest peaks in 7 months.
I've seen it. You want to spoil it? You want to spoil it? He doesn't.
No, don't spoil it. It's impossible. It's it's crazy. Yeah. But so if you want to take 6 months off a year to do whatever, you just talk about what you did. Don't focus on it. Make sure you have a portfolio, show proof of work, saying you're staying relevant, and then bam, show it to them.
That's it.
So, hope it helps.
Let's see. Duo says, thank you for the super chat, Duo. When will the new .NET version come out? How will it change mobile development? Happy New Year.
.NET MAUI, I think he's talking about .NET MAUI. .NET 6 came out in November. That's out now. .NET MAUI for mobile is probably later.
They said like first
March,
quarter.
April,
they say that?
first quarter, second quarter.
So
we'll see when they get close to it. So sometime, but is it going to change mobile development for people making it with C#? Absolutely, yes. It's way cool. So it's coming out for sure.
Yep. And then we'll see .NET 7 scheduled for end of year,
next November. Yeah, next November.
So
every year, but
Like kind of cool. Finally got their naming conventions down, which I saw.
Yeah, now we're down to numbers 7 and 8 and 9.
Just Microsoft, keep going with the numbers. Don't get
stay with
persuaded and all of a sudden.
Don't change it till you get to 99. When you get to .NET 99, you can change it. But other than that, just stay with it.
Exactly. Just keep going with it. The best way to do it. I saw that tweet the other day talking about we were talking about this, the .NET framework, .NET Core, .NET, And they did the same thing with the Xbox. So you get Xbox, Xbox 360, Xbox One, Xbox One X. It's like they just don't engage
Xbox
with their marketing
S. I don't know which one to buy.
Yeah.
Your mom goes into GameStop, gets you an Xbox. Like, I got you an Xbox for Christmas. Mom, that's a 360.
Exactly. Yeah, but it's an Xbox.
That's not an X. That doesn't play anything. What are you doing?
Yeah, I wonder how many people. I wonder how many people
disappointed
Christmas.
I was in GameStop, dude. I was in GameStop, and I had to explain it to this mom and dad. Like, wow. No, that's not the one you want. Like, I understand this was before, but that one doesn't. That's a 360. It's not the thing you need. It's like. So then there's the One S, which is really a one. I mean, the Xbox One, which is the one that I have. It's not the new one. I mean, like, it's not the trash
it is,
can.
but it's a lower model of the One X. Yeah.
So anyway, it's kind of funny.
They're just bad at that. So same way with .NET, they generally do bad. With the exception of where we are now, starting with .NET 5, .NET 6, I think we're on the right track. I think
Mom and Dad said, "You saved Christmas." I'm like, no, I didn't. Microsoft names it wrong. It's like, you just got to know kind of what they're buying. So like, kind of funny.
You're like, trust me, Billy will be upset on Christmas Day if you give him this 360.
He's gonna hate you.
He's gonna be like, let's put Fortnite on it. It's gonna be like, doesn't run Fortnite. Sorry.
But yes, we can play Destiny 1.
Right, exactly. Yeah, you can put this disc in it, or this,
So, kind of funny.
Cool. Well,
all right. Well, cool.
We're done for the year.
We loved it. Hopefully, Happy New Year to everyone out there. Thanks for watching us. We'll be back Tuesday right after the New Year's and a brand new season. And we got a big announcement coming soon, and we can't wait to reveal that to everyone. Huge. Yep. Not Mr. Beast huge, but pretty huge.
Close.
Pretty huge.
We're not six
it's pretty
figures.
Close.
We're 5 figures. So...
5-figure giveaway, something, I think you'll like it. Yep. So we're pretty excited about that. It'll be coming soon. See you guys next week. Have a great New Year. Stay safe. Keep coding.
Happy New Year, everybody.